Hi, this is Felix from Alcon Systems. Today, I'm going to show you the full documentation on how to integrate this components library in your Angular project. I'll also show you the new things that have been added and then things that have been improved. Now, before that, let me show you something. Now, if you need a beautiful template for your Angular, for your Vue, for your React, or for your HTML5 project, kindly go to flxtemplate.com. that is this. We have FLX Google Light and then we have FLX Google Dark. Now this is the light, this is the FLX Google Light, and then we have the FLX Google Dark also here. Okay, let's go back. Now before you begin using this library, make sure you have set up your Angular project, and also make sure you have installed it by type in npm install FLX UI Datatable. Now, if I go to my app.module.cs, I have already installed this plugin. I have imported the module and then a service which I have registered it in the provider here. If I go to my app.component.html, I have nothing but this, only this. Now, if I go to the page, I have a blank screen here. Now, to use it, I'm saying FLX UI data table, you close it. Now, you need headers for your table. By saying headers, I say full name, gender, I say mobile number, and we say region, and say description. Okay, now let's before saving this, let's view the network. Let's save it. Okay, so now we have our headers here. Now to prepare table, to bring table to this. To bring data to this table, you need to provide your API link or your API URL by saying data URL. Now, I have my data URL, not this one. I have my data URL over here. Copy it, and then I paste it. Okay, so now let's save it. Okay, so now we have this. So this library automatically makes API requests, makes ATP requests to your API. So now let's populate data by saying you copy this by saying data keys. This also takes an array of strings. That is, we have full name here, so the full name should match the index. Then we have gender, copy gender, paste it. We have mobile, paste it. Then we have region, we paste it. We also have description, we paste it. Now let's save it. Okay. Now we have our data. We have provided our data keys, but still there's no data. This is because we are bringing this status okay data. So this particular key is holding our data. So you copy this, then you say data src key, that is data source key. Paste it here. Then we save it. Now we have our data here. Now, if your response is coming with this only, that is array of object, then you don't need to specify this. Okay, now let's add buttons to our table. Now we need buttons here. To add buttons, you need to tell the library, hey, give me I need a button in my table by saying has action buttons set to true. Then you specify your action buttons. Say action buttons. This also takes an array of objects. Say text. No. Okay. You say text. View. You say text. Edit. Say text. Then delete. Save it. Okay, so we have this. Okay. So we have view, edit, delete. Now you can also add a class to it by saying btn secondary, that is bootstrap, class btn let me say primary. So now let me say success. Say btn, say class btn danger for this. Now you can also add icons to it by saying icon FAFAI. You add icon here. Say icon FAFA, edit, then an icon here, say FAFA trash. So save it. Now we have this. Wow. Okay. You can also specify the position of this icon by saying icon position. I want it at the right side of the text. Okay, so now we have it over here. Now you can see these buttons is almost taking 30% of the table width. So to resolve that, you just remove all this text. Remove it. Remove it. Then remove it. Now this one is very long, so let's copy, let's cut this, then you say buttons. Now save it. Now inside our TS, you say buttons, which is equal to this. Okay, so we can have a correct view for that. Okay, so save it. So now we have this. But if a user sees this, the person will not actually know what it does. Okay, so by doing that, you add what you call tooltip to it. So tooltip, you say view. Then you can also specify the tooltip position by saying tooltip position, and you say left. So let's copy paste everything, paste it, and here you say delete, and you say edit. Now for edit, let's position it on the right. So right, okay, save it. So now we have it. We have this view, but this one we have it on the right because we specified the total position right. This one is left. We have top, top, right, left, and bottom. All right. Let me say top for this one. This one is right, this one is left, and this one is top. Okay, now let's search. Now before searching, now let's do this. Let's paginate our table. Now you can see there's no API request again because we have loaded everything. So this library will manage the pagination for you. You can also use this. Okay, now by default the library does 20 items per pagination. So to specify your own you say limit, which is equal to 10. Save it. Now you can see it is what, 10. Okay, now let's search by saying you want to change the placeholder. By saying search placeholder equal to, let's say, enter. Okay, here is enter name to search. Okay, let's say search by full name. Save it. Now search by full name. Okay, now let's type Felix. Now we have two Felix. Ashanti region. Okay. Now you can also specify which of these should be searched through. You can by reading the full documentation of it, either GitHub or npm. I prefer npm to rebuild. Okay. So now we want to embed. We want to add pictures to this. Now to add pictures, you see embed pictures, which is equal to, now it takes an object of index, let's say 4, then root folder, then this root folder is that's the folder containing your pictures. Okay, so now let's copy paste this. So my pictures is over here. That is pictures. Please make sure you add this to it. Okay, now with this particular index, we are saying this with this. Now this particular array of strings, which of these index holds the picture name? So we say 4, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which means description is holding the picture name. Okay, so now let's view. Let me come here. Let me save it. Embed pictures. Embed pictures. This is capital P. Okay, so now you can see description is having pictures, but the picture URL is what? They are broken. Let me see. Okay, now it is picture. So this one is holding the picture name instead. So let's come here and then add a picture header. Then here to add the key. Then here it is at particular that is index 0. So here you say 0. You save it. Now we have our pictures, but this one they don't have pictures. So now to put a default picture, you come here, you say fallback URL. Now if I go to my asset, I have my man.svg here, so I say asset man.svg, save it. Fallback URL. Let's capital U instead. Okay, so now you can see all these broken links are being replaced by the default image. That is, when there is no image, then you put this one. Now if the image is small, don't worry, you can add your custom class to it by saying class, I say my pictures, copy it, save it, you go to your say my pictures, and say width, say 100 pixels. Please make sure you add important to it. They say height 100 pixels. Make sure you add important to it so that it overrides the default one. Save it. Now you can see the pictures are now big. Okay, so now let's revert it. Okay. Now let me read this message. You say one more question. Can you load 50 million data in quick time with proper pagination? That is a message from this guy. Is it Nikhil Agawa? I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name wrong. Okay, so now this is how I solve this. Loading 50 million data will take a long time to load everything from an API, and I don't even know if your server can handle this. So this is how I solved it. Instead of loading everything, you load it bit by bit. You load it bit by bit. That is on demand. So you can load, that is for the first time, you can load 20 items. For the second time, you can load, that is 20 items. Third one, that is when user clicks on this, or this, or this. So now let's solve that. Now to solve that, you say, lazy loading config. Now this takes an object of API offset key. Let me put an empty string for now. API search key. Now let me put this for now. Now this, if I come here, you can see I'm loading everything. This is the function. It's a select star from table, which means it will load everything. Now we are enable lazy loading, so let's comment this one, then let's uncomment this one. Now this is search, which means if this one is enabled, if I enter something here, it will not search, but rather it will hit your API. It will hit your API. And when you click this and this, it will also hit your API. If you select this, it will also hit your API. Instead of doing everything here. Okay, so now let me copy this. That is search. I copy this to this one. Then I copy this offset to this. So if I go here, you see offset. See select star from table limit, that is offset, then 10, which means start from this index and then limit my record to 10. Okay, so now let me save this. And also, if you enable lazy loading, you make sure you bring a total key, which is holding the total number of that is the total number of records in your table, so that this library will use that that number for this. Okay, so now let me save this. Now before that, let me view. Let's save it. Okay, so now if you enable this, you have a search icon here. Now it is saying 404. Now you can see we have, instead of this for the previous one that is loading everything, now if you lazy load them, now search that is offset is 0, then search this, but it is broken. This is because there should be now you have to add one param to your URL, so that you can also add that is, this enables you to also add params to your URL. Otherwise you can't add anything to it. Say, let me say action, let me say nothing. Save it. Okay, so now we have it. If I come here, now this is what we have. Then we have total, which is 86, which is used for this pagination. Now if I click next, you can see it has made a request to our API, and to my API. Now the offset is what? 10. Okay, so if I go next, it says what? 20. If I come back, it says what? 10. If I come back, it says 0. You can also use this. It says what? 70. So this search is what? Empty. So over here, I'm saying if empty, then it means the person, no, if not empty, then it means the person is searching. So if I go to the search, I say query where full name like blah blah blah, that's the search. So now let me search here. If I enter Felix, you see now it is that is Felix is not coming automatically because you have enabled lazy loading. So unless you click search, now it has made a request to your API. Now search is now holding Felix. So my search over here, my search query is bringing this. Okay. Now you can also have let's say a button here, that is add button here, by saying has add button. Then you set to true. You save it. Now you have add button. Now let's add a class. You say classes. Now you can add so many classes to override some of the default views. Let's say add button. Say btn. Let's say primary. Save it. Now you have this. Okay. Now you can also handle all these buttons by reading the full documentation of this library at npm.com. Okay. Next. Source. Now you can also export your data by enabling data export by saying enable data export then you set it true. Save it. Now we have a data export over here, but there's nothing there. Okay, now let's configure it by saying data export config. Okay, by saying export to. Now we have three things. We have print, we have to Excel, then we have to PDF. You can also add a title. Let's say by saying export data. Now export data. Now you can also let's say you can also specify which of these should be exported, or which of these records from your that is from your API should be exported. So over here, if let me refresh it. Okay, so by saying which of these data should be exported, if you don't specify this, it will use these data keys. So by saying data columns, it also requires an array of strings. Let me say I want to export full name. Say I want to export full name, and then let me say mobile gender, and then mobile number only. I want to export only this. I save it. So if I click this, I have print to Excel, then this. Now let me export to Excel. Say export, say exporting.